I grew up selling. We sold milk, we sold garlic, we braided, we sold clothing. So my background is all pretty much in, my parents do not have an education and nobody went to school, but they've actually been able to own and run 3 businesses, which have been very successful. I myself started a couple businesses that are doing very well. I have a passion for selling as well as for traveling. So for me, this was a really good match. But going back to my background, I was a store manager for a retail shoe store. At that shoe store, I actually wore multiple hats. I mean, I was the store manager, I was the buyer, I was the marketing person, I was the payroll person. So a little bit of everything. So, to me, this is just a really good match. It just brings everything that I've learned together and allows me to put my skills, into play.
Okay. And remind me which position you've applied for with us. Is it the Costco or the store manager position, or which one did you apply for?
Yeah, that's where I was a little bit confused because I had originally applied for the store management position. And then when I received your email, the information that I got, the paper that I signed and everything seemed more like an outside sales representative, which I was perfectly okay with, but I wasn't too sure, if I had missed something or I wasn't too sure.
Okay. And if we went the store route, which location were you interested in being a store manager?
I'm completely open. Originally, I was under the impression that you were going to be opening a store in Chico, and I was like, this is a great market. I mean, I know a lot of people who love barbecuing, who are always looking for something, a brand new grill, new ideas on how to cook their meats, I don't know if you ever heard of this, but bacon bomb. I don't know. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's a meat that you make it with ground meat, bacon and a whole bunch of cheese and things like that. So I have friends who actually get together and just do the bacon fest and come up with this new meat things. Okay. And so for me, I'm always around that, and I'm like, this would be a great market for that. But I mean, if you're not coming to Chico, obviously I'm open to relocation. I'm pretty much wide open.
Okay, good. So that's kind of how we work this. We do everything based off of talent and performance. We don't, look at somebody's background and go, oh, well, this person's got 8 years of, management experience, so we're going to go with this person. That's not how we roll around here. It's all performance based. I don't care if you've got a doctorate and you're just right off the street, but you can actually do the job, then that's the person that's going to get the job, if that makes sense. That's how we do things around here. Obviously, we want the most competent person, but also the person that's going to produce the most volume for us. And the name of our game is not relationship sales. It is volume sales. And this is nothing like relationship sales. And we move product like you wouldn't believe. But we are looking for those unique individuals out there that it is just grill out the door, grill out the door, grill out the door all day long. And that's all this is. Overcoming objections, buy it now, take it home. That's how we sell this thing. And so it's not your typical sale. It's very hardcore. It's relentless hardcore close. And we do it very professionally with pure integrity, by the way, but some might say we push the envelope, and others might say we cross that fine line with the customer. And I know a lot of salesmen and women out there that don't like to sell that way because, frankly, they don't like to be sold that way themselves. So tell me, Gloria, how do you fit into the hardcore close? Because that's what this is.
Okay. I honestly, like I said, my background has all been in sales, and it is a little bit of relationship building, but at the same time, we always sold our product. As such, I started doing this at 5 years old. I started selling lemons and peppers from my backyard. Like I said, I don't know if people bought them because I was a 5-year-old kid selling lemons and peppers, or because you just go out there and sell it. I mean, you just go out, tell them a story about the product, which this has a very good story. It's a very good service, and then you pretty much make sure they take it home. So, I think I understand the whole volume. I think this is probably how you make your money. It might be a different business model and so I understand that, and I don't have a problem, closing a sale. I don't have a problem hearing no, but then saying, I understand you said no, but this is why I believe that you should. Or, continuing and pushing and moving forward, and I don't have a problem closing a sale.
Good. Okay. The other side of this business where people tend to fail. In fact, this is, I would say, for me, there's two areas where people tend to fail, and this is the next one. That's the biggest one, is cold calling. And yeah, you're not dialing for dollars by any means, but this is the purest form of cold calling in a live and real setting that you're ever going to get thrown into. I mean, I want you to imagine with me here. Now, even though you would be applying, by the way, for the store manager position, it's not really a manager. You're really looked more as a sales lead. You're responsible for producing the most volume out of that store. So, it's not like you're just sitting there managing a few employees, telling them what to do, and inventory control. There's no inventory control. It's solid raw selling. That's what this is. Excuse me. So even though you would be applying for the store manager position, all of our employees, every single one of them in our sales force, actually start out selling inside Costco. Okay? And the reason why we do that is because if you can't sell inside a Costco, frankly, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to sell inside of a store setting. Now, our store settings are kiosk settings in the middle of a mall. And it's actually pretty amazing. It throws people completely off their game as they walk into the mall, and all of a sudden there's barbecue grills there. And so it actually causes a lot of interest, and people want to, understand what's going on here with this product in this mall. And so it is a kiosk in the middle of the mall. And you can imagine what I'm about to talk about here, the cold calling aspect of this job, is that we are not looking for a babysitter to babysit a booth or a kiosk. In other words, we're not hiring order takers over here. And as amazing as our product is, truly the elite of its class, it does not walk off that shelf by itself. Our salesmen and women are world-class killers. And so when I talk about cold calling, the majority of this position, Gloria, I'm going to say 80+% of this position is stopping these people as they're coming up the aisle, dead in their tracks, over and over and over. But it is relentless, and it takes a special salesperson to do that type of a job. It's not for everybody, and people tend to shy away from this. So that's what this is. How do you fit into that? Because this is bam, 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 relentless, stopping these people, bam, dead in their tracks. It's not people coming up to you and going, well, tell me about this. I saw this, about 3 months ago. Tell me about it. Those days are long gone where the new product rolls into town and everybody's excited to hear about it. Gone. So I want you to tell me how would you fit into that cold calling aspect of this?
Okay, let me tell you a little bit of a story, because I feel like this is my background. This is what I do. I don't wait for someone to come knocking on my door. I go knock on theirs, So I was helping a nonprofit here in Chico. It's a preschool co-op, and we're doing a little event at the market. And everybody's sitting back, they're handing out balloons, but they're kind of waiting, like you're saying, they're waiting for the parents to come and get information about the preschool. And they said, what are we doing? Like, there's millions of people, 100 people walking by us, and we're sitting in our booth. Like, why are we not helping? They're like, well, do you think people will mind? I said, do you think I care if people mind? What I want to do is give them the information about what we're doing here. So I walked out, I walked to the parents, I gave them the balloons, I talked to them about the school, and I actually ended up getting a job offer out of just doing that. Because they were like, oh, you're not afraid to go ask and, get rejected or anything like that. And I said, no, I don't know anything about Mexican culture, but this is what we do. You stand there, you bring everybody to your booth. You don't wait for them to come in and look at what you have to offer. You have to bring the product to them, show it to them, put it in their face. This is what we do. This is who we are, and this is why you need us pretty much.
Okay.
So to me, that's what you're saying to me, that's like, well, this is how you do selling. Like, I was talking to someone else about this before, and I said, you might think that this is a little bit weird because most people wait for people to come and, tell me about the product. And I said, I don't think you need to wait for anybody to do that. I think you need to go up there and show what you have to offer, especially if you know that you're offering a valuable product as well.
Okay, good. You know, and you're rare. You're a rarity, and we are looking for those rarities that can come out and perform. Now, the other side of this that I really want to hit upon with you. This is very serious. Coming to Traeger is like coming to the major leagues. You know, when it comes to selling, and we pay a pretty penny to our sales force because they deserve it. They earn it, and you will definitely feel it in every bone in your body selling this product. And so it takes a special person to do this. But what I want to talk about right now is the physical aspect of this job. Gloria, this is, you know, I've got about maybe one girl for every 15, 20 guys. And the girls that I have are killers. I mean, they are killers, and I wish I had more. But the reality is this is a very grueling position. You are inside that Costco. Number one, you are by yourself. And you are responsible. And I'm bringing up Costco because you will start out in Costco. And you are responsible to be inside of that Costco from before they open those doors to the public in the morning. And you are responsible for that booth until the last customer walks out those doors at night, whatever time zone it is. And that's 10 plus hours a day for 10 days straight. The other side, there's no stool to sit up on when it's slow. There's no chair to sit in when it's slow. You're not leaning up against our product, right? When frankly, to be honest with you, it can be sometimes just that slow inside a Costco. And so you're kind of seen more as a Lone Star sales ranger out there hustling on your feet the entire time, making sales happen. You're going to be required to go from a standing position to a kneeling position. Every single sales pitch that you give, again, it's required. It's part of our sales presentation, and you've got to be able to do that, I'm going to say, more along the lines of 60 to 160 plus times a day. Standing, kneeling. And all of this position, by the way, is the exact same, whether you're in Costco or whether you're a retail store manager. It's the exact same. You're just in a different setting, that's all. And it is relentless, okay? Now, as far as, you know, let me just put it this way, the culture around here. My guys and gals, they don't take an hour lunch. They don't even take a half-hour lunch, you know. In that 10-plus hour day, they'd probably take maybe a 15, 20-minute window, slide back to the back of Costco, buy themselves a slice of pizza, hot dog, salad, chunk it down, and then they are back on the sales floor selling. Now, obviously, yeah, use the restroom once or twice during the day, but that's honestly about it. That's more along the physical side of this job. Now, the emotional side. It is extremely emotionally demanding, depending especially on who you are and what you're leaving back at home. You know, when we place you in a Costco, you know, we're placing you in a Costco somewhere in the nation. You know, it's not going to be 40 miles from your house. And so you're going to be gone. And, but there's a couple of reasons that make this job emotionally demanding. And a lot of them we just talked about, actually. The cold calling aspect of this job, it's emotional. You know, having these people tell you no all day long. It's no different than picking up the phone and dialing for dollars. In fact, it's worse. It's live and in your face. And so you've got to be a well-rounded salesperson. You have to be what I call the 3 different types of salespeople. First, we've got our sales initiators. They're the go-getters, full of life, ambition, drive, tenacious. They'll meet and greet and stop and talk to everybody. Then you've got your cold callers, like we already talked about, the people that are willing to dial for dollars, door knock, right? And then you've also got your sales closers. And, you know, sales closers, deserving of everything in life, right? Been told their whole lives they can, quote unquote, sell ice to Eskimos, right? But closers that are just closers, they will run from cold calling as fast as humanly possible. And again, here at Traeger, you've got to be all 3 of those. Now, I get that you're all 3. And so I don't think this interview needs to go much longer other than the fact that the emotional side. And with you, you know, let me just put it this way. Costco's a $90+ billion a year company. And we are a guest in their house. Meaning, not only do you have Traeger's policies and procedures to abide by, you've got Costco's policies and procedures to abide by, right? And so it's like you're double whammied on the policies and procedures. But this is the biggest one where we see issues with, and it's very interesting. When you're at Costco, Gloria, and you could totally justify yourself in this. I mean, 100% to you up in here, clear and free, justifiable. Like, what's the big deal, guys? There wasn't a person 3 miles near me at the time. Seriously, what's the big deal, right? I could take a picture of this place for you right now, right? And you decide to pull out your cell phone and respond to even a quick text message. Think about it. Text message, Facebook post, words with friends to keep your sanity, email, or even take that quick phone call. You don't get to do that working the hours at Costco. And I don't care who you are. That's tough, especially with the way that, instant access to communication has become such an important part of our lives. It really has. You don't get to do that at Costco. And so I guess what I'm saying with this is, if you can't leave home at home, or Gloria, if home, whatever that is, can't leave you alone when you're working those hours at Costco, it won't work. It won't be a good fit for us. Okay? And that's tough. It's tough. And the other side of this that makes this job pretty emotionally demanding, Gloria, is, even if we start you out in Costco to get you prepared to move into a Traeger store, that can take anywhere from 60 to 90 days. Now, you won't be gone 60 to 90 days, because our Costco schedule is you're gone for 10 days, and then you come home and get 8 days off to enjoy your life however you want it. And then you're gone for 10 days, and you just leave it all out on the field. And then you come home and you get 8 days off. That's this Costco schedule until you would move into, per se, a store manager position. And you've got to be able to handle that, and the schedule. And what I'm getting to is, your schedule is your schedule, meaning, and I don't say this proudly, but I'm just giving a point here. I've missed every single one of my kids' birthdays for 5 years in a row, and I have 4 kids. And for some reason, every single time I got my damn schedule, it landed on their birthday. And, I've missed anniversaries with my wife. I've missed being the best man at 2 friends' weddings. You're going to miss stuff when you're doing this type of a gig, especially, until you transition into, what would be a store manager position. And that's just what this is, Now, granted, we got to look at the other side of that too. I mean, you get like 8 days off every other 10 days. That's a pretty sweet gig. And to make the type of money that our personnel makes is quite phenomenal in this industry. So just to give you a heads up of how this works, our Costco position, even though you're being trained there, it's paid differently, and the benefits are different than our store manager positions. Okay, so both of them are incredible opportunities with an incredible amount of money to be made. However, the Costco position is different, where because of the time off, the amount of time off that those guys get, because they're traveling, gone for 10 days, home for 8, gone for 10, home for 8, right? There's no medical, there's no dental benefits, none of that stuff. It's just straight commission, 100% commission. And I've got, well over 90 plus reps out on the road right now doing that, and they're killers. But it's 100% commission. The money is awesome. And the store manager position, let's say we do that and then we transition you into the store manager position, then the store manager position, you'd be looking at $96,000 a year, draw against commission salary with full medical, full dental, and that's because it's a full-time position. It is, retail hours, full-time position. So granted, obviously very deserving of medical, dental, all that stuff, okay? So those would be the biggest differences, but the selling and the style of selling is the same. Now, last thing here that I'm going to hit you with. This is the pitch industry. And the reason why they call this the pitch industry, not to sound belittling to you, is because you are delivering a sales pitch. It is a word for word, perfectly memorized, presented and delivered sales presentation to every single person that you talk to. No variance, no deviance, no coming up with your own one-liners because you're just that smooth of a sales cat, right? That's a hard pill for a lot of salespeople to swallow. Why? 2 reasons. Number one, it is hard work. It is taking even a 3-minute sales pitch, which is what this is, but words that aren't yours, that have been psychologically put together for a reason because it works, but having that become a part of who you are. And then being able to transition that to the end receiver so that it feels natural. But here's the key. Real to them is no easy task. And then the second thing that I get sometimes is, Mr. Cromar, I don't want to sound canned. I'm not a robot. I'm not a machine. Did you even take a look at my resume? I'm a real professional. I'm the real deal. In fact, I used to get an email or a phone call after this interview when we first started doing this that used to go somewhere along the lines of this. Mr. Cromar, I'm a professional salesman or woman of 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and nobody scripts me, and I sell off the cuff, and I could sell snow to Eskimos, and I'll show you, young man. I'll show you and your company a thing or two about sales. You just throw me out there and let me do my thing, right? And it's like, look. We're not saying that you couldn't go out there and sell a few. In fact, if you're half of what you're telling me you are right now, you could probably go out there and sell a few. But you will not move the volume. A professional pitchman or woman will move. That professionally hones his or her own craft and continually masters this week in and week out. And that's what we're looking for. That's what this is. We move product like you wouldn't believe. I mean, you've got, some pretty, I'm sure you've got some pretty killer sales skills growing up in the environment that you grew up. I know that environment very well myself. But the reality is we would teach you stuff over here where you're going to go, oh my dear Lord, if I would have learned that when I was 5 years old, man, I'd be a millionaire right now. So this is just a very, very different industry. But this is what we're looking for. This is what this is. Grueling hours, retail hours. You're by yourself. You're responsible, representing our company. We're looking for the real deal out there. So tell me again, I know that's a lot to take in. I know that's a lot to feedback. I appreciate your patience on that. If there's anything there that's not your cup of tea, it's not your flavor, I actually full-heartedly respect that. But that's what I need. There's nothing around there. So how do you fit into that, and what do you think?
Well, going back to the physical and stuff like that, I worked in orchards. I had a job, 3 jobs at one time. I pruned trees. I've done it all. I cleaned houses. So for me, you're not really asking me to do very much. For me, it's like, okay, well, I actually get to be in an indoor place where there's good conditioning and things like that. Wow, I'm very lucky. This is just the additional things, but this is part of the job. And I think that when you're putting out there the benefits, the pay and all that, this is the sacrifices that I have to make to do this, and I'm willing to do this because I know it will benefit me now and in the future. It's part of what my plans are. I have a 5-year plan, and this fits right into it because financially, I can do a lot more going this route for 5 years than trying to find to 5. So for me, this is my cup of tea, as you say.
Great. Well, I think there could be a definite good fit here, Gloria. So coming over to Traeger is not easy. In fact, it's a little bit of a process. So what I want to do is definitely move you through the process. And here's what it is. We do what's called a pre-audition next, meaning you will get my sales script tonight. You have until Wednesday, May 8th to have it perfectly memorized. Verbatim, word for word, memorized as written. Don't add anything to it. Don't take away from it. Don't change the words, even though that it might mean the same thing. Memorize it as written. That's how strict I am on this. And then we'll jump up here on ooVoo on the 8th. And you will pitch me our sales pitch. It'll take about 5 minutes. I'll record it. We'll review it as a team, and we will let you know the very next day whether we will be moving forward. If we move forward, I will fly you here to Utah on the 13th, which is a Monday, and I will keep you here in Utah until Friday the 17th to finish the interview process, meaning that time spent here in Utah is not paid for. I do take care of your flight. I take care of your hotel costs. Shuttle you from the hotel to our facility every day, feed you twice a day off the Traeger even, so you can build those stories up. But it is to finish the interview process. If you are selected past that week, then you would go out the next week with a field trainer for 10 days in a Costco. You'll get paid $150 a day for training. It's not a lot, but it's enough. And if the field trainer comes back and says, yeah, Gloria's a killer, she can do it all, we'll cut you loose, 100% commission, and it's go time. And from there, that's where we would look at your talent and we would say, you know what, you're talented enough for a Traeger store. Here's a couple of places if you're willing to relocate. Here's what we've got. Or you may even come back and say, you know what, I want to stay Costco. I really like this schedule or whatever. But there will be opportunity based off talent. And by the way, we move quick. We act quick. So, you know, you may be doing a Costco 2 shows and then bam, we're going to say, hey, you are legit. Let's move forward. So that's kind of how we do it. Is that a process that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think reading the form that you sent me and everything, I've been doing some research online. I looked at your video and all that. So yes, I'm comfortable with what you're asking. That's fine.
Okay, great. So you're going to get an email from me tonight. You're going to get an email from Jay Lene, our Director of Corporate Training, with the sales script. You'll get another email from one of my assistants. Just respond to the emails accordingly, and I will see you again, Gloria, my friend, on the 8th.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Any other final questions before I end this?
That's pretty much it. You were very clear with explaining everything, and thank you for doing that.
Good. And and just to be very clear as well, this is a 6-figure income position. A lot of these sales companies out there, our average guy makes X amount of dollars. Whether you make $100,000 a year here or $200,000 a year here is completely based off of your talent. And, just to be honest, I mean, we won't even keep somebody that's not, a 6-figure income producer. That's just what this is. This is just an amazing opportunity. So anyway, all right, we'll see you on the 8th.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Nice to meet you. We'll see you then.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.